Hello everyone and welcome back to another True Unscripted Puro video. Today we have another episode of the Rising Sun Renaissance, as tonight we have night 12 of the G1 Climax. If you missed last episode, you missed B block action, but tonight we have A block action as Shingo Takagi takes on Konosuke Takeshita, Yoda Tsuji takes on Oleg Bullen, Jake Lee takes on Great Khan, Sonata takes on Yuto Ice, and Hiroki Goto takes on Ryuei Oiwa. But before we can get into the show, we have to prepare. So, select venue location. We are going the famous Korakuen Hall. Select locker room incidents. Seigo Tachibana has been passing on tips on selling to his protege, Kokan Tachibana. I will have spoiler tagged this, but I mean, when I mentioned Seigo Tachibana a few nights ago, I think everyone knew I was gonna sign him, so. Head mentioner Juji Hirata ran pre-show training drills to work on basics and safety for 9 students. And that is all. Let's team bond. And several relationships have worsened. Okay. So, Newman's just being a prick now. Jake Boston-Young has time off. Yep. I'm going to get on to pre-booking night 12 of the G1 Climax, and I'll be right back. And on to night 12 of the G1 Climax. We start the show off with a abysmal pre-show match as Kokan Tachibana and Marcel Schneider defeat Hiroya Ariwara and Yoshikazu Komori in abysmal pre-show match. Komori carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, doing a 29. Match did a 24. Not too bad. Kokan Tachibana doing a 9. So in between episodes, I set up a progress tracker for each of the young lions. So I want to see how they're doing now. Kokan 9, Marcel 17, and Komori 29. So, 3 matches in for all of them. Probably should make it full screen so I can see it. Ariwara has averaged 15 in in-ring performance. Kokan Tachibana has averaged around 8 to 9 in in-ring performance. Schneider has averaged 15, around 15 for in-ring performance, and Komori, holy shit, has averaged 28. To put that into perspective, I've also added all of the actual New Japan Young Lions, well, quote-unquote Young Lions in this save, aka Daikin Nagai, isn't on here, because he's not listed as a Young Lion anymore in the game. To put it into perspective, Komori is the 3rd best young lion I have, coming just behind Masatori Yasuda, who has an average of 32, and Sana J, who has an average of 31. AKA, Komori's gonna be pushed to the fucking moon. But onto your main show, as in your opening contest, Oscar and Taichi Shimori defeat Callum Newman and Sane J in an extremely short match when Oscar pinned Sane J. 46 rating. Sane J was the weak link, doing a 34. Love to see it. Afterwards, in your next match, Ren Narita and Dick Togo defeat Aaron Wolf and Tatsuya Matsumoto in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Tatsuya Matsumoto was the weak link, doing a 25. 60 rating. Love to see it. Afterwards, in your next match, Zack Sabre Jr. and Fuminori Abe defeat Drilla Molyneux and Daikin Nagai in a decent match when Abe pinned Daikin Nagai. Daikin Nagai seemed off his game, doing a 46. That's what I mean by he's no longer a young lion. He's putting up 40s. Almost 50s. And then Fuminori Abe foreshadowed a heel turn Okay. Wonder where that's going. But in your next match, Hinare and Francesco Akira defeat Yuya Uemura and Masatori Yasuda in a decent match. Masatori Yasuda was the weak link, doing a 35. Love to see it. 68 rating. Honestly, was expecting it to do worse, like always, but fine with me. Then, in your last preliminary tag match, Gabe Kidd and Daniel Garcia defeat Shota Umino and Tyson Nakahara. About to have a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Daniel Garcia seemed off his game. Tyson Nakahara was the weak link, doing a 28. Okay. But on to block action. In your first block match of the night, Ryuhei Oiwa defeats Hiroki Goto. Oiwa is already mathematically eliminated, but could he have just played spoiler to Hiroki Goto's G1 dreams? Have to wait and see. 72 rating, love to see it. In your next match, Sonata defeats Yudo Ice in about to have great wrestling and good heat. Both men have great chemistry together. Afterwards, in your next match, Jake Lee defeats Great-O-Khan in a decent match, with Great-O-Khan being really off his game. And with that, Great-O-Khan has officially been mathematically eliminated from contention. Wow. I mean, I'm sure not a lot of people had him going to the playoffs, but sucks to see. But with this win, Jake Lee has practically qualified for the playoffs, now having 10 points. But on to your next match, as in your next match, Yota Tsuji defeats Oleg Bolin in a decent wild brawl. And with that, another elimination, as Oleg Bolin has officially been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. Yota Tsuji, at this point, 12 points. It's very obvious he's going to the playoffs at this point, but it's almost certain that at this point, he's going to be the winner of A Block. But we still have a few more shows, so things could change. But in your main event for the evening, Shingo Takagi defeats Konosuke Takeshita in a good match. 81 rating. Shingo Takagi, he's still on the brink of elimination, but he gains 2 more points. Could he have just played spoiler for Takeshita? We'll have to wait and see. But we finished the show with a 79 rating. Love to see it. Finished the show, financial report, just under 65K. And that is all. So, A Block standings. At the top of the block with 12 points, you have Yota Tsuji. Then in second place with 10 points, you have Jake Lee. Then all tied in third place with 8 points apiece, you have Hiroki Goto, Konosuke Takeshita, and Yudo Ice. Then tied for 6th place with 6 points apiece, both of them on the brink of elimination, Shingo Takagi and Sonata. Then at the bottom of the block with 4 points apiece, you have Ryuhei Oiwa, Oleg Bolin, and Great-O-Khan. Looking ahead to night 13, the next episode, you have Shota Umino taking on Gabe Kidd, Yuya Uemura taking on Hinare, Drilla Moloney taking on Zack Sabre Jr., Aaron Wolf taking on Ren Narita, and Callum Newman taking on Oscar. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Rising Sun Renaissance. I've been True Unscripted Puro, and I'll see you all next time.